Nintendo Switch 2 game keys suck, obviously, but this didn't just come out of nowhere, you know. How did we get here, you ask? Well, lay back in your dad's most forbidden piece of furniture, and I'll tell you how after my award-winning intro, of course. Okay, so Switch 2 game keys. The idea is simple. You buy a so-called cartridge and pop it in, but instead of there being a full game on there, it's basically just authorizing you a download. You're still gonna need the cartridge to launch it, but it's basically just living on your console locked up. And obviously collectors hate this because you're not actually archiving the game on the piece of plastic. You're pretty much just archiving permission to play it, so if the servers go away one day, which they will, or the account rules change, you're pretty much left with a prop. I don't like this at all. I mean, I prefer owning things that are gonna work 20 years from now without being at the mercy of a big corporation hosting something they're probably not gonna be making money off of anymore. I mean, obviously 20 years from now, they're gonna want you to buy the 69K HD Ultra re-release. Now, me, I personally prefer cartridges and or discs with the games actually on them. Yeah, all those boxes I've got on my shelf, I prefer the games inside them work for the rest of my life, but I mean, as much as I hate this and do understand the frustration, the thing is, we all kinda got what we deserved here. After all, time and time again, we've been telling publishers this is completely okay for like the past 15 years or so. I mean, remember when day one patches first started? Everybody grumbled a little bit, shrugged, and then just downloaded the 10 gigabytes and moved on. Then the patches got bigger, 30 gigs, 50 gigs, and we started seeing discs that barely had any of the games on them at all. I mean, I don't know why people are suddenly so mad at Switch 2 game keys not having the actual games on there, when for like the past 10 to 15 years or so, discs and cartridges have been shipping out with like 1% of the games on them with massive day one updates. I mean, even the Switch 1 had tons of cartridges with massive day one updates that wouldn't work unless you downloaded them. A lot of people did get kinda sorta upset over this for like 5 minutes, and then they bought them anyway and built massive collections that are essentially just gonna be paperweight someday, which is why I never really got the whole fascination with collecting Switch 1 games, but I guess that's just me. Main reason people bought these games, though, is because at the end of the day, they are the games that we did want. I mean, I bought these games too, so I'm just as much to blame as you guys are, but I've been mad for like 10 to 15 years over this. I don't know why people are just suddenly now making a big deal out of it on the Switch 2. I mean, after all, we did tell publishers exactly what we were willing to tolerate. The lesson they learned was clear. Ship fast, patch later, offload storage of the user, save money on manufacturing costs, and if the games won't fit on the bigger cartridges that cost more money, just put them online. I mean, the consumers will eat it. I mean, don't worry about actually finishing these games on time. Nah, just send them out and we'll patch them right before they launch. And if anyone reviews these games early without the day one updates, then we're gonna be little bitches about it, basically. You know, kind of like doing your homework in homeroom. I think it's kind of crazy everyone's acting all shocked over the Switch 2 game keys, because like, where have you been? I mean, this is the clean, logical next step of the path we all cleared. Although the game key does still matter, but not for the reason you might want it to. I mean, no, it's not a vessel for data, it's just a little token that says yes, sure. Basically just a glorified permission slip that tells a console to fetch the game for you whenever you want to play it. Cheaper and more convenient for publishers, sure, but way worse for preservation and collecting. But the reason it even exists in the first place is because day one patches trained an entire generation to just accept unfinished physical products. But here's where my take gets a little bit spicy, because I don't think all physical is equal. I always hear people say the Switch 2 game keys are just digital downloads in boxes, but I mean, they're not that bad. And let me make it clear, I don't like the game keys, but they're not identical to digital. Because with digital, you own nothing. You can't lend it out, you can't sell it later, it's stuck on your console. Well, with Switch 2 game keys, you can at least sell and borrow the damn things. I mean, if I hand you a Switch 2 game key, you can at least play the damn thing on your console, so it's not the same as a pure account license locked to one device. Now, is it perfect? Is it any good for collectors who want the game data sealed into plastic? Absolutely not. But in practical life, being able to sell or lend game keys out's still better than a receipt in your email. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't bite the hand that feeds you and accept the slop or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're willing to fight Nintendo over this, where the hell were you the past 10 to 15 years? As of right now, though, Switch 2 games only have one cartridge size, 64 gigabytes, and it's pretty pricey too, apparently. Back on the original Switch, publishers had the options to pick smaller, cheaper 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 gigabytes or what have you game cards to match the files of the games they had. But with the Switch 2, there isn't anything cheaper, like 8 or 16 gigabytes, at least not right now anyway. So if you're a publisher with like a 4 gigabyte game, it's kinda stupid to pay for a 64 gigabyte game cartridge, so if you're gonna get mad at anyone, get mad at Nintendo. Don't automatically get mad at the publishers. But fray not though, Nintendo's longtime cartridge supplier Macronix did hint that there's more cartridge sizes coming soon. Mainly because everybody got pissed, so I'm not saying that getting mad doesn't work. I'm just saying, why are we now starting to fight this battle is all. Like, I don't want anyone to think I'm simping for big companies trying to get away with giving us less, but I mean, I do have to be fair. Look, some of you are probably gonna say, not every developer can afford huge cartridges. Costs go up with capacity, some teams want to update aggressively and keep file sizes changing just to fix bugs, add content, support players. Yeah, true. But why leave glitches in games, even though sometimes retro games having glitches are kind of charming, let's be honest. I just hate how everyone already accepted a long time ago that games aren't even gonna actually be on the physical media anymore. Or even worse, that the finished final versions of games aren't gonna actually be out until like 6 months after the release. Although to be fair, I don't think everybody ever accepted that part of the deal. You pretty much do have to have a competent version of the game day one at least. All I'm saying is there's a huge difference between patching a quick little update to fix a minor issue here and there and having a game be broken without the day one update. I mean, if your disc or cartridge is basically a shortcut to a server, then that's just straight up dependence. But if the day one patch just cleans a few things up here and there, then that's support, and we all used to know the difference is what I'm saying. Another point, though, is that people talk about preservation like it's only a collector's problem, but it hits regular players too, you know? I mean, imagine if you buy a game key on sale, and then 10 years from now you actually want to play it finally. Well, if the servers are gone, or the rules require some kind of a reauthorization that the platforms don't even support anymore, then you're pretty much screwed. A real disc or cartridge with the full games on there won't care 10 to 20 years from now, though. I mean, you might have to blow some dust off, sure, but you're pretty much just always going to be able to plug it in and run it. And that's the beauty of a pure, true physical game cartridge, or disc, you get the point. And at the end of the day, that's what we're losing slowly but surely. Not the box itself, but the offline permanence. And yes, I did place the blame on us earlier, and I meant it too. Not you personally if you've been fighting the good fight for years, unlike me to be honest, but really just the broader gamer behavior overall. A lot of people celebrated day one fixes because it meant that games could launch sooner. We defended studios when they needed more time, and we said patches are a good thing, which they are, sure, when used responsibly, but publishers always measure what we do, not what we say. And the fact of the matter is, we all still pre-ordered, we still logged in, and we still accepted server checks for single-player games. We still had to move content from discs to downloads because storage is cheap. And now here we are, cartridges that are basically just keys. Well, let's talk about collecting though, because that's obviously where the emotions are highest with this issue. If collecting to you means discs or cartridges that hold the full 1.0 version of the game, then game keys can definitely feel like a slap in the ass. I mean, you aren't archiving a game, you're archiving a dependency. A dependency that probably won't even last that long, no less. And again, personally, I'm in the first group. I want physical media to just start up without the internet and play. I mean, imagine owning something like a video key for like Full House and it only works for like a decade at most on one device. I mean, damn it, I want something that's gonna function and that I can impress ladies with by putting it up on my shelf. It matters for art, matters for history, and it matters for the simple joy of replaying something the way it was. A lot of people will say, just stop buying physical if this bothers you so much and go all digital and accept reality. But like, dingus, that's the wrong lesson here. If we all stop buying the few real physical releases that actually put the whole game on the disc or cartridge, then those are gonna go away too. If anything, this is the moment to actually reward publishers that still do things the right way. So if you like collecting, preservation, or both, then you should try to seek out releases that ship complete, support studios that press the full build and patch only when they need to, and if you must buy a game key, then buy it with your eyes open at least. Always remember that you're buying a permission slip and not a cartridge with a game on it. And if that bugs you, then speak with your wallet, because that's the only language the industry's ever heard. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a Nintendo fan man, but the above average sized end did not invent this pattern. Everybody's been doing it. I mean, we've seen the discs on PlayStation and Xbox that were basically just launchers. We've seen always online checks creeping into single player games for, quote, reasons, and then just kinda sticking around. We also saw server shutdowns after a few years that bricked certain features. I mean, this has been industry-wide behavior because it's been working for developers, and we just kinda keep playing along with it. So honestly, I think we all gotta point our frustrations out at the entire system, not just Nintendo. Although not that Nintendo deserves a pass, of course. These game keys friggin' suck. But I think we all get the point now, so where do we go from here? Well, first of all, stop pretending that game keys are the same as digital, because they're really not. They are worse for preservation, sure, but they are still better than digital for lending and reselling. And secondly, start speaking up more about massive day one patches and full games not being on discs or cartridges. And third, when publishers do ship physical builds that are complete, then we should all celebrate and buy them. At least if they're games we wanted in the first place anyway. I'm not saying to just buy slop you don't want. I'm just saying we need to show love for real physical media is all, or else it's gonna go away eventually. At the end of the day though, Switch 2 game keys do suck though, but they didn't just appear out of thin air. This is just the end result of years of us normalizing day one patches and online dependency for single player games. And we didn't draw lines when Fit It later became ship a shell. And that's how we ended up with cartridges that are permission slips. So if this really bothers you enough to go complain online about it, then do something about it finally. Whenever there's games that you want that ship completely on the physical, then make sure to buy them, and try to skip game keys whenever it's a game you don't really want to play that bad. And also stop turning a blind eye to patch culture like it's harmless, because it really isn't. After all, it's how we ended up here in the first place. And anyway, let me know what you think about Switch 2 game keys in the comments, and if you got a kick out of my incoherent rambling and disturbing imagery though, then you should check out my video I made on the history of Zelda fans being fickle, but if you'll excuse me though, I gotta go mow your lawn. No, seriously, look outside, I'll be there. Later.